What does the word tact mean to you? Now, just as nonverbal communication is so important and your physical behavior when you're sitting somewhere, the words you use reflect upon you. We have already established that anything anyone says speaks about them, not the other person. Now, what do you do when you have other types of behaviors in front of you? You can have people who are aggressive. You can have people who are passive. You can have people who are passive-aggressive. And you have then assertive behavior, which is where I'm hoping that we will all reach together. So people who are aggressive insist on wanting to be right. They will walk in, sit down, they'll belittle you, they'll make you feel bad. They'll do what it takes to make themselves look bigger, taller, stronger, and right. How do you respond to it? Passive people will look meek, and they will look like they want to fail, and they'll want you to rescue them. What do you do with that? Passive-aggressive people will confuse you. They'll confuse you because they'll act really bizarre. They'll pretend like they're being really nice, but you leave feeling this irky, eerie feeling of not understanding what's going on. Now, assertive people say what they mean and mean what they say. And they speak clearly, congruently, happily, joyfully. They make their point known, they're congruent, but they will not say it in a way where they have to win. They will agree together with you that you both understand each other. So aggressive people who feel the need to be right all the time, or little bullies that your kids face in school, the way to respond to them is actually feel sorry for them. Now imagine someone who's being a bully must be being bullied somewhere, or else there's no reason for them to be a bully. They can find peace and calm within. So if you imagine that you face aggression and you handle it really peacefully and quietly, and you respond to the person, but you don't put yourself down, and you allow them to start reflecting upon how they're behaving. You don't judge them. You look from behind their eyes and you wonder, I wonder what's going on in their life that makes them feel this way. And you develop a kind of an empathy for them. I'm not asking you to accept that type of behavior, but if your ego stands up to them, what results do you actually gain? Isn't it better for you both to self-reflect and find a different modus of speaking? Passive people need to be rescued. And yes, we can feel sorry for them, but placating them, which is sort of saying, oh, it's okay, don't worry, it's not going to help them in the long run. If you give them energy and give them inspiration to believe they can actually achieve something, you're doing them a service too. And you know that feeling sorry for ourselves only results in us feeling worse. We think that by feeling sorry for ourselves, things are going to get better. But no, you're regurgitating and you're repeating the same issues over and over to yourself. How can it possibly improve? Unless we lift ourselves up or we ask someone for help. But asking for someone for help vulnerably allows us to be responded to positively. If you're nagging someone and you're forcing them, there's no desire to want to be of help in those cases. So we have to really wonder if being assertive is allowing you to be vulnerable and speak your truth, even if you're upset or you're feeling angry. But being passive, being aggressive, or being passive-aggressive to manipulate someone has zero use. End of the day, you end up being the loser. So it's worth considering what behavior you're using and what tactics you're using. You know, you cannot ever see someone's intention. It's not visible. And usually we will tend to judge other people based upon our intention. And if your intentions are all good, yes, people's behavior can shock you sometimes. But isn't it better to be comfortable with the discomfort, stay with your integrity, and see how other people are flowing and functioning? rather than attacking them or blaming them or being suspicious that they have bad intention. If you're functioning from your intuition and not from your mind, you yourself will know when your intuition is guiding you correctly. Has it ever happened that your mind tells you to do something, your intuition tells you otherwise? Then you listen to your mind and you realize much later that your intuition was correct. It's worth listening to the intuition because it has the answers. And your verbal communication must stay aligned to who you are, with your integrity, with all your values intact. Your empathy can allow you to look at different reasons of the why someone may be reacting to you the way they are, and allow you to change your stance, change your perspective, test different things and see how you react differently. Imagine that a child who comes and tells you that they don't feel like their father trusts them. And you say, well, why? Say, well, because when asks me if I've done my homework and I say yes, and he says, are you sure? The words, are you sure, can affect a child into believing they're not trusted. So the value of our words is so important in meaning what we say and saying what we mean. To be kind, to be generous, to be loving, and always seeing things from behind the other person's eyes and using our words appropriately. I believe that the art of diplomacy is such an important one. You know, they say that, for example, if your guest is leaving your house and you forgot his umbrella, and you run after your guest and you say, excuse me, sir, you've forgotten your umbrella. But if it's your child or your spouse or your sibling, you'll say, why did you forget your umbrella again? So what if we were to treat everyone like a guest and have polite behavior towards everyone, especially those that surround us? How will it change our world? I believe it'll change our world beautifully. I look forward to seeing you again.